to Wheel Nerds. This is episode 220. I'm Todd.
And I'm Chuck.
We're going to be talking about motorcycles.
And episode 1. Welcome to Wheel Nerds.
Episode 1, The Revenge. Revenge of One. One is back.
Okay. Hello. How are you, listeners? Todd?
I'm swell. I am so tired.
What?
I taught a BRC this weekend.
Okay.
So we were allowed to hold 11 students on the range. We normally only do 10.
Okay.
And we had a person who was waiting, and so we brought her on the range because, we were like, fuck it, we can hold 11, let's do it.
Okay.
That was a lot of students. It was a big class of students, and most of them had like zero experience on motorcycles. There were a couple who had some. Most of them had zero, but then a lot of them had like no experience with shifting and things like that.
Okay.
Massively different spread of skill levels. One guy grabbed a handful of front brake and just biffed it hard.
Oh,
yeah, that sucked.
You okay?
He got up and walked. He's like, I want to keep riding. I'm like,
nope.
Really? Honestly, I let him because he had gone from like meh to pretty okay actually.
Okay.
Several of them did actually. They all passed, and they all went. Even the ones who like started like really rough, were pretty decent by the end. So like.
But it took it out of you.
Jesus, did it ever.
Right.
And then, I had a new coach who I was helping break in, I'm like,
okay.
This is hard. Sarah's like, yeah, welcome to be a senior. Welcome to being.
Welcome to what?
Welcome to being.
Welcome to what?
Welcome to being.
112? Welcome to what?
Welcome to being a senior coach, chump. I'm like, you damn it. One student's like, how long have you been riding for? I was like, 15, 16 years. How long have you been teaching for? 10 years. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, because you're turning 40 soon.
Yes. Yeah, that happened. What is happening?
Still can't wait to give you your birthday present.
Oh, Lordy.
It's not big.
Okay.
It's not expensive.
Okay.
Banish all of those expectations.
I was really hoping for something super fancy. Like a Grom.
No, but it was inspired by something you've already have.
Okay. All right. I can get with that.
Cool. We have a contest winner.
Dun, 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 contest music. I'm just making up. Fetch me the banjo.
You done?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So I wasn't kidding. Bye. I wasn't kidding about doing a contest. We for reviews, and we have a winner.
Ooh,
D Halo. Hi. He sent me this. He got the review up on iTunes. He said he had to edit it a little bit just so it wouldn't get reported. His review is, the podcast is fantastic with lots of great info delivered with a ton of humor.
Lies.
I actually hated it at first.
Probably true.
But after the pace went MIA, I had to listen to something. Eventually, Stockholm Syndrome kicked in, so here I am. Honestly, the show is great, with the only downside being Chuck is kind of nuts. I recommend not leaving a 1-star review, since the last time I did that, he tracked me down. I woke up to him shirtless at the foot of my bed, punching me in the groin. Still, the pace hasn't come back, so what else can I do? And the challenge was to say in your review that I would be there shirtless punching you in the dick.
Mm-hmm.
Groin is acceptable. The judges.
We will accept the substitution.
Judges took it. Mm-hmm. And the Halo got a $25 gift certificate to Aerostitch.
Nice.
Because when I say it's a real contest, I mean it's a real fucking contest.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Get the elk skin gauntlet gloves. You won't be sorry.
I demand more reviews, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking for the rest of the year, once a month, we'll take the best new review wherever it is. You guys send your review to us or a link to the review so that we can see it. It has to be published somewhere. And we'll pick the best one once a month, and
we'll do something. Something will change. Sometimes the something will be something really cool, like an Aerostitch gift certificate. Other times will be something less cool.
Like Todd.
Like old greasy bolts.
Like 40-year-old Todd showing up, talking about your diet.
I'm just going to throw down. I'm thinking maybe like a lot of listeners might enjoy something like an old Strom sprocket with like the teeth all shark shaped because it's been used so much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone would enjoy that. That'd be a fun gift, right?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
I think for a challenge in June, what I'd like to see is a review and link to our podcast written on a bathroom stall.
That would be an intense.
But I am not encouraging vandalism.
No, that would be wrong.
We take no responsibility for it and would never advocate for it, though we might reward it.
Especially if it's funny.
Yep. Well, there you go, kid.
Wait, what if it's their own bathroom wall? Does that count?
No, it has to be a public one. There we go. It's got to be a public bar, highway rest stop. I don't know. Work. I don't care.
You're not picky.
Not picky. There you go, kids.
Yay.
Okay, so we got this YouTube video from Randy of a kid who basically got an old truck and then put a lawnmower engine in it.
Yeah, and the craziest part about it is like it actually works. Like this kid put it in like really well. It totally works.
I would love it. And the coolest part I thought was it had raccoons living in it when he got it.
Actual raccoons living in the truck. This kid has hit the shadow economy early in life, earlier than most.
And you watch the end of the video and he's driving it around, and I can't make fun of him.
No,
it's cool.
There's absolutely nothing I can make fun of. Like, he made this thing work, and it works freaking great.
Yeah,
he's like, it got up to 20, but like, what do you freaking expect?
Yeah.
Can you imagine having a truck like that when you were like 14, 15?
That'd be so cool.
That'd be the fucking coolest thing around, man.
Yeah, you could be like, oh, it's not a car, it's a lawnmower.
No, this is clearly a mower.
It's a mower,
a utility vehicle.
Yeah. Look at the engine. But that's awesome.
Yeah, that's way cool. Super cool. So, nobody used our voicemail in the past except for occasionally.
Very occasionally.
Yeah. But I do miss having it.
So we got it back.
Yay!
Well, we got a new one.
Okay.
We got a new number.
Different number.
Yeah.
So if you call the old Royal Nerds voicemail, it'll just like collect your information and like send Chinese spies to your house.
I think an escort answers.
Oh, okay. That's almost funnier.
Yeah. So our new number is area code 801-305-4677.
Does it spell anything dirty?
No. I don't think so. Google doesn't really give me that option.
Spell something dirty.
Yeah.
Click here to spell something dirty.
I did. I missed that checkbox. And if you're unlucky when you call this number, I might answer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Harsh. Hello, this is Chuck. Oh, God.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, I want to talk. Okay, bye.
Cool. So yeah, give us a call. Leave silly messages. Leave the sound of your bike starting up. Any messages at all? We're so lonely.
So lonely.
It's the worst.
I only have Todd.
What you could have instead of me is you could have a new motorcycle.
Yes.
You could have, something like, say, hypothetically, a 2010 Harley Davidson Road King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would I want one?
Well, this one has two front tires.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. So, two front tires. That's compelling, right?
Yeah.
So this is a 2019 Road King with Tilting Motorworks Trio front end kit installed. The kit is not much wider than the saddlebags, and with it on, it handles like it has two wheels. The Trio front end has all the upgrades, including tilt lock system. I've also added a Pingle electric shifter, some clutching, and some other things. Looks like a bunch of adaptations. So I'm getting the impression that maybe this was done as an adapted bike.
I believe, yeah.
For somebody with like one leg, no legs, something.
Yeah, because it's basically like a upright scooter.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes.
Which is cool. I mean, if you need that so you can ride, then cool. It looks good.
Looks real good.
Yeah. This ad came from our Facebook group page.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Wheel Nerds group. If you haven't joined, go join.
Go check it out.
But this is a cool bike.
This is a surprisingly well put together piece of kit.
Yeah.
The two front tires look deeply strange on the Harley.
Yeah, especially with the front fender like that.
Well, I think they did this big bloopy front cowling thing to make it look less weird.
Yeah, it kind of looks a little bit like a car.
It does. It's got like an old timey car kind of quality about it.
Like a grill and a grill cover.
I'm thinking that's what they're going for.
Yeah,
but it seems deliberate.
It's cool because it leans.
Yep, it actually leans, and then if it's got the tilt lock system, then they can do the thing where they come to a stop and they hit the tilt lock and it doesn't fall.
Yeah,
it doesn't fall over. So if you want something that leans, but you can't necessarily hold up something that doesn't balance itself, this starts to make some sense.
13,000 miles on it. That's $23,000. Yeah.
Neat.
I like it.
Yep. And the color is actually still really good too.
Yeah, I can't make fun of this bike.
I'm a little stymied by the idea, though, of like a strange trike that isn't like sketchy in some way. Like
because all we get are sketchy.
All we get are
trikes.
sketchy trikes. Like I'm looking for the punchline. I'm like, where's the
raccoon?
There's somewhere in here. There's a place raccoons live. I haven't spotted it yet.
They live in one of the side cases.
Not yet, but I'm going to find it, Chuck. There is a raccoon here somewhere. Somewhere there's a raccoon.
Raccoon hunting.
Yes.
It's just so clean and good looking.
Yep, and all the modifications are all like really well done, professionally done too.
Yeah, I got it.
They don't look clobbered on at all.
I'm not going to knock this bike.
Nope.
Not like our next bike.
We need something else to knock.
A 1972 Honda.
Hey, those were cool.
It's a vintage Honda 250 XL. Good project bike. No text. Leave message is best.
Mm-hmm.
Not stolen. And he wants $300 for it.
$300, and it appears to be parked next to a camper. No, a tree.
A 47-year-old bike.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It would be a great project.
It would be a great project.
For
they don't specify what kind of project, Chuck. You know what I mean? All that rust on the pipes, probably nothing to worry about. The dry rot you can see on the tires, even from this distance.
Personality.
It's fine. Yeah,
it's fine.
Cool.
It's personality.
Yeah. You know, it's just fine. There's nothing to worry about here. The fact that even the side of the tank is rusted, which takes some doing.
That's a custom paint job.
Yeah.
Takes years to achieve that effect.
Patina.
Yeah. And that front fender.
So there's a few things here that I have to say that spring out at me as being conspicuously absent from the information about this bike. Starting with, does it run?
No.
Has it ever?
Not this century?
Would any millennial have ever seen this bike driving down the road?
No. Not that they'd remember.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Good project bike. Is it just me, or is that code for like is a complete piece of shit?
Oh, that is definitely what they mean by this.
Mm-hmm. The other thing about this is one where you've got the fun background that tells a little more of the story.
Yeah, that's where that person is living.
Yeah, there's a crappy old 70s trailer covered with rust right behind it.
Yeah.
The other possibility is this is like the like parent died, now must go and sell all the things.
Uh-huh. This was a hoarder's house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the same person is selling a 200X, whatever that is. Looks like a three-wheeler.
200X frame.
Yep. Headlight works. What you see is what you get. No text. Leave messages best. This person is a person of few words and descriptors.
$100.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, it's an old three-wheeler.
Yeah,
okay.
It's an old three-wheeled ATV.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this
Headlight
is all
works.
This is all a bit strange, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
This all has that kind of like I found these things and don't really know who owns them, but maybe you can come buy them.
This person bought a storage unit.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, like they discovered like this boneyard in the back of some land they bought or something out in the middle of the desert, maybe. Yeah, I could buy that. That could fit. You
Not
could find
haunted
things. No. The ghost of the previous owner absolutely 100% does not haunt that bike.
Absolutely.
No, you're totally safe. Totally safe.
So here we have next up a rat bike.
Okay, that isn't necessarily bad.
One of a kind.
Mm.
Coolest pit bike on the planet for $900.
That's a bold statement.
I have a custom build one-off rat bike, pit bike. It has a 9-horsepower Briggs motor. It has an electric start system.
Like a snowblower.
It has a new $45 battery. It has a torque converter drive. It is strong, off the line. It is fast, 55 miles an hour.
Please no.
Take it to the drag strip and watch the crowd gather around you.
As you fall over.
It has a $225 rear wheel and tire. It has a disc rear brake. It has an old tractor seat for that rat bike look. Was a big hit at the Rat Rod show this year. Time to sell it and get a new project. I will only take $900 cash. No trades, no checks ever. I won't ever drop the price.
I'm getting a real
I think he's serious about the $900.
I get that. Yeah. Yeah. There's a certain strange dissonance here between the elements of the ad.
Uh-huh.
You know? I won't drop the price ever, $900, but it has a $200 rear wheel on it. Like, why do you feel the need to say that? You know?
Because it's fancy. I want you to know I spent money on this bike to make it so popular at the Rat Bike Show.
Mm-hmm.
Rat Rod Show.
Rat, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Rat Bike.
Right.
Rat Bike. Rat Bike.
But
Rat.
Huh. I don't know where to start with this thing.
That's a thing.
The front tire looks like it has some roundedness to it. The frame is daring. It appears to be a plate frame. My favorite part is there's one post that holds up the front end. I can get up to 55 miles an hour with that frame and those tires. Damn. Hope you don't need to turn ever.
Hope you don't have many plans for your future.
Yes. Hope you're you've lived a good life.
Hope you're wearing your helite vest.
Hope you're wearing your helite pants. I mean, damn.
Yeah. It's a rat bike.
No, this isn't even a rat bike. Okay, this is like somebody had some stuff, and they were like, "What can I do with this stuff?"
9 horsepower Briggs motor. Is that a lawnmower engine? Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kid with the truck is like, "You got a 9 horsepower, bro? How'd you do that? Where'd you get that, man?"
I'd rather have the kid's truck.
Yeah. Can't argue. I go for the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Truck will at least be useful. What are you bringing? I'm bringing a lot of things. How fast are you going? Not. But,
Going.
Hey.
Yes.
Going. Goes.
Affirmative.
Technically, yes. Forward and also backwards. Go team.
Yeah. Okay.
One other conspicuous absent item I notice here.
I love the oil drum for burning things.
Oh, yeah, in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, the oil drum for burning things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the background, you can also see there's some other cruiser motorcycle.
Yep.
It's all like super clean and nice.
Yep.
Like they put the tire shine on it.
Yep.
I always laugh when I see tire shine on motorcycles. It's a thing.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Meanwhile,
yeah, I thought you might like this one.
There's a Cushman Silver Eagle 1965, $3,200, and it is fucking immaculate. Oh my God, even the leather looks good. Holy shit. 1965 Eagle with title, which is impressive in itself. Front and rear brakes, loads of chrome, 9 horsepower OMC engine, runs and shifts good. My God, look at that thing. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
In its weird Cushman way.
That is a cool little bike.
That is so cool. The Cushman's, for those who don't know, was a particularly like fancy / odd / they defy description. Go look them up.
They are a thing.
They were a neat little like transport scooter, and this one has they put a seat on the back. But one of the things Cushman did that was fairly unique is the back of a Cushman was basically a big fucking flatbed.
Mm-hmm.
So like you want to bring a sheep, a cooler, literally like a full size cooler of shit with you, boxes of crap, like all the cabbages from your farm, whatever. You could fucking bring it on the Cushman.
Yeah, you could do that to this. Just take the seat off.
Yeah, you just take the seat off. I honestly, it's almost like criminal to have the seat there. Is what I'm like. It's a Cushman. You have to have a big flatbed. Yeah, why aren't there 2x4s back there? Like I feel cheated in some way. I
like how this bike looks.
It looks, and then the thing they did with the Cushman was they made it look kind of like a cruiser.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Yeah.
And it kind of has sort of a retro.
Mm-hmm. It's a 1965, dude. It is literally retro.
Yeah.
It is retro made manifest.
But more like, it kind of has like a Fallout retro vibe to it. Like this is the kind of thing the Fallout makers were inspired by.
Well, yeah. So the Fallout is what's called retrofuturist.
Mm-hmm.
Bear with me here, folks. This is going to get nerdy, okay?
Okay.
So there was this weird, around like the 50s, right?
Yeah.
The future, we had the bomb, and now the future was limitless in front of us.
Yep.
And everybody's like, technology is totally forward. And we're going to do all this new technology. Nothing, and I mean not a goddamn thing socially is going to change. Women are going to stay in their place and wear pearls and fucking clown lipstick and high heels in the kitchen. Dad's going to put on a 3-piece suit and go to work with his jetpack. Right?
Yep.
There was no concept that technological change would change the actual social
Society.
fabric or society. And so they had all of this wonderful, like beautifully done art of this retrofuturist stuff.
Yep.
And there's this very distinctive style to it. And you're probably picturing it in your head now.
Yeah.
But
everyone can see this.
But some of the stuff that they made was stuff like this.
Yeah.
They're like, what will it look like when bikes are futuristic? And here you go. This was like the cutting edge, state of the art, height of style motorcycle, but done up in basically like a practical scooter.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and it looks awesome.
So this was like competing with now the Honda Super Cub, which was coming on strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
which looks more like a conventional.
Yeah, it looks more like a conventional two-wheeler scootery kind of thing. Yeah. But I mean, the Super Cub, you have to remember the Super Cub was stupidly cheap, and Honda, it's the first thing Honda really sold in any numbers here, and it was just selling like fucking crazy.
And Honda still exists.
Yes, interestingly. But yeah, so this was competing with that. We're going to be practical.
Mm-hmm.
But this one looks cool.
That does look badass.
That's really neat. Really neat. Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Original 9 horsepower OMC engine. But so it goes. There it is. You could get a Cushman.
Okay.
You'd be rad on this.
Why are you looking at me? No.
Damn it, Chuck.
I'm not going to Huntsville to buy a bike.
But
no.
But it's a Cushman.
No. But no. I don't want it.
I'm going to go tell the guy from the local brewery that has all the Cushmans and old...
yeah, tell him.
All those. Yeah, he'll buy this thing in a heartbeat. That thing will be upstairs in a minute.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mm. So speaking of small, unintimidating practical bikes, we have a guest tonight.
We do.
Who's going to get you to motorcycle? Well, get someone you know to motorcycle.
Okay, we're on with Robert Pandya of the IMS Discover the Ride initiative. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Great. How you guys doing?
We're okay, surviving.
We're getting by.
It's the end of the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sober?
I am.
More so than usual,
I'm
oddly
just
enough.
Drinking like seltzer.
Yeah, I just fall asleep if I drink any beer right now. That's the nature of a busy weekend.
We're lame wheel nerds.
I was out making new riders, which actually is an interesting segue into what you do, isn't it, Robert? So
awesome.
You're in charge of the Discover the Ride initiative, which is something that IMS puts on. How about you tell us about it instead of me flapping my jaw?
Yeah, absolutely. Discover the Ride was an idea brought to the International Motorcycle Shows Tour, which is the largest touring motorcycle show series in North America. Mm-hmm. And the idea there was to make motorcycle training as easy as possible. And there are other elements around Discover the Ride, but the core part of it is we wanted to take somebody who was a pedestrian and turn them into a rider in 10 minutes. And we're able to do that courtesy of our partners at Zero Motorcycles and Cycle Gear and Total Control Training, Lee Park's outfit. And that program was very, very successment during this last IMS tour. The entire program, including kids, saw over 8,000 participants. Cool. And then on the Zeros, the full-size motorcycles, we saw over 6,000. So it's really that's the overall program. Is you come to a motorcycle show and you expect to just get to see motorcycles, but instead we're actually tossing you the keys to specially modified Zeros, and all of us on the staff were sort of equally surprised by how many people come to a motorcycle show who are not yet riders. And that, that sounds odd, right? It's like,
it does. It sounds really strange.
There would be non-riders checking out the show, but the percentage who come who aren't riders, who are using the show to explore motorcycling, was really big. And, the opportunity to actually get to ride an electric motorcycle in the show was a real bonus for them. So the program was very successful. It'll be definitely continuing on to next year's tour. And then at the very end of this year's tour, we had an opportunity to explore engaging an automotive audience in Dallas at the Dallas Auto Show. So it's really an exciting initiative and one that I'm really proud to have been part of creating and tweaking and making better, and essentially creating as many riders as we can within that venue for the benefit of the entire industry.
So now I got to ask the obvious question: is you're encouraging people to ride motorcycles at a motorcycle show, which seems like easy work. But if the people were already self-selecting by going to the motorcycle show, what actual difference do you expect there was in terms of their conversion to full-on riders? I mean, was it already a foregone conclusion, and you just kind of gave them a little extra shove to hurry up already?
Or were they people who were kind of like in tow with people who were motorcycle riders, saying, "Hey, you got. I'm the only one who has the car keys today, so you have to come with me to this motorcycle show." And then it's like a captive audience.
I think that's a really smart question, and I think that if you were to go to a Comic-Con convention and you would expect that everybody would be dressed up, and you would find the people wearing polo shirts and khaki pants who are slightly uncomfortable but interested, they would sort of stick out, right? Versus all the superheroes. Whereas at a motorcycle show, everyone's just kind of like walking around and looking at stuff. So the reality is that getting into motorcycling it's a big step. And those of us who've been in it for a while, I've been in it for over 30 years myself. It doesn't seem like that big a deal to many of us, because we've gone through the hurdles and we speak the language and we know how to do that. But to get somebody who has never ridden before to ride, the traditional thing has been, well, you got to sign up for an MSF course or a total control course, and that's going to be this many $100, and it's going to take you 4 days, and you need some gear and this and that. There's several hurdles, right? As opposed to buying a $7 ticket to come to the motorcycle show and to get a chance to throw your leg over a bike. We're going to loan you gear. We're going to have instructors and that sort of thing. And we have lowered the bar for entry to such a degree that people who thought that they would only be passengers decided to jump on the motorcycle and give it a shot, and discovered that they liked having a throttle in their hand and controlling their own bike. And other people who thought that it's going to be another 6 months or a year before they can save up and have that first experience, instead get to jump on a bike and ride. And of course the show tour happens over the winter, so we're sort of priming everybody for the spring season and new ridership. So really it's easy to think that motorcyclists come to motorcycle shows, but we've had a lot of people who were just exploring motorcycling that came to that show and wanted to give it a shot. So,
okay. Continuing down this track, did you notice a difference between the reception you guys got at the auto show versus at an IMS show?
Yes. So the auto show, obviously, there is, we only make up about, depending on the statistics you want to believe, I think about 7% of the transportation matrix at best, right? So going to an auto show where people are going in there not only to maybe look at cool custom cars, but to shop for their next minivan, you're really in that sort of, the hoi polloi of transportation. So we had to do a little bit more work to kind of create the confidence to get people to engage. We also had people who were never, ever going to be motorcycle customers, but here's this chance. It's sort of like that slingshot ride at Daytona. I'm never going to jump out of an airplane, but I can strap myself into this cage and shoot up in the air, right?
Oh, hell no.
So, yeah, what the heck? I'll give it a shot, right? And so we got a lot of that. So it was a little bit more work in the auto show, but it was also, in some ways, in many sort of individual circumstances, it was really exciting because we were delivering motorcycling from something that this audience may have seen from the outside, and now they've done it. And the entire mission for Discover the Ride, both at the IMS show and in any sort of non-motorcycling venue, is to literally trigger that one little brain cell that goes, oh man, I can do this. If we do that as an industry, just across the board, that fundamentally changes our perspective on what it is to bring new riders in, instead of prefacing all that with, oh, you need to buy a $600 helmet, and you're going to need to buy this new D-Air suit, and you're definitely going to want to buy a bike that's got traction control, and yada yada yada, all the other stuff that sort of derails somebody from getting into it.
Have you tried telling people not to go to the Harley Davidson dealership?
Well,
So
Awkward silence.
one thing I gotta ask. So assumptive in your statement there. Now, so like, okay, you gotta buy a $600 helmet. Yeah, guess what? If your head is a $600 helmet head, you're fucked. Sorry, kids. It's just the way it is. 600 isn't the norm for a helmet. I mean, most people are going to be able to get away with a $200-300 helmet, but at the same time, yeah, you do once you decide to get into it. So I guess and then you need a bike with traction control. So assumptive in there, and maybe that's, it is what it is because you're at the IMS show, is that you are trying to encourage people to get into it without having to buy a new bike.
literally all we're trying to do is to get people to get on a motorcycle and twist the throttle for themselves the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That's
See,
it.
like it.
It's just that first step. That's all we want. And, when we do that on these Zero motorcycles have you guys had a chance to ride a Zero or anything like that?
No.
Wah, wah. This is hanging out at the Harley dealership all the time. So you guys,
Hey, they have free coffee.
easy
true.
now. So anyway, but the electric motor, it's an unbelievably perfect product for rider training because I can dial back the top speed on that thing just through the computer. We dial it back to about 11, 12 miles an hour. And then we set the throttle up in such a way that no matter how fast you whack the throttle open, it'll only accelerate at sort of a nice steady rate. So you can't whiskey throttle the bike. Mm-hmm. In order to do that, the easiest way to do that on a internal combustion bike would be on like the new Honda Super Cub, where you put it in first gear, you unbolt the shift lever, and then you put a throttle restrictor on the throttle grip so it only opens like 10%. And then you've created an internal combustion, mimic of what we can do with that electric bike. And the electric motorcycle has no noise, so it's very easy for my instructors to talk to people on the course. There's no vibration to create distraction, and there's no heat. So it's one of those things that it is an easy thing to get into. And I think that not everybody's cut out for motorcycling. So we're not trying to say that the entire world needs to be on two wheels. Mm-hmm. But we do think that we can lower the barriers to entry and we can give people that taste test, mm-hmm. And show people, the way to become addicted.
Book them early and then jack up the price. $600 helmets. Let me introduce you to $600 helmet vendor.
So those reasons you listed, that's the reason why you guys went with the electric motorcycle.
Well, that, and we can run them indoors. If you want to have a difficult conversation, imagine IMS's conversation with 8 different fire marshals. Yeah, we'd like to put brand new riders onto motorcycles inside your building
and light them on fire
while the public is walking around. Does that work? So it really took the horsepower of an international motorcycle shows tour to pull this off. And that tour has been going for over 30 years in some of these venues. So it takes that kind of brand power within the show circuit to convince event directors that you're not going to just be torpedoing people through cinder block walls on a regular basis, right? And so that's what it takes. As an industry, again, if we don't find creative ways to make motorcycling accessible to more people, it's not about product. You guys know this. We've never had such a fantastic variety of product on the market with capabilities, and that extends all the way down into the used. I was looking for used Bonneville Speed Twins for my sister who's getting into riding. And, we're sitting there on Facebook Marketplace and there was it was like 10 of them in the Chicago Metroplex area, that were at like $5,000, $6,000, something like that. And it's just, fantastic motorcycles for not a whole lot of money are out there. The product is out there. What has to change to increase motorcycling is truly the attitude of the industry and OEMs and the aftermarket to increase access to that discovery part. And once we do that, the rest of it will start rolling itself out. We're good at steps 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy cow! I made you guys quiet.
No, it's an interesting point. So one thing I got to ask about, and this is somewhat of a non sequitur, but I noticed that you said more than 2,000 kids rode Stacyc bikes.
Stacyc, yeah.
Yeah, can you do me a favor and never ever let my kids know that these things exist?
I've seen those at IMS a few times.
I dig the Stacyc. I understand why Harley bought the Stacyc brand, but I'm also a ambassador for Strider bikes.
Oh,
and the Striders are amazing, right? Because they're at the $100 price point, and kids as young as 18 months are getting on these things with like little rocking horse bases, and then eventually they start walking around, and all of a sudden they're 5 years old, and they're doing Strider Cup races in downtown LA, which happened about 4 weeks ago, and it's like a mini motor. It's labeled as the cutest race in the world.
Yeah,
and
Todd's already doing a shopping list.
No, I have one sitting in my garage. I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, so you get it, right? So that's the other end of my personal spectrum is trying to get more kids onto Strider bikes across the country. But really, it's we sometimes take in this industry, we take for granted the buzzwords of freedom and control and being out in nature and riding with the wind and all that kind of stuff. But the people who haven't been exposed to that, once they have been exposed to that, it's an option that, unfortunately, with a 50% reduction in youths using bicycles as transportation in the last few years, that does not bode well for the motorcycle industry in the coming 10 or 15. So, Discover the Ride is about creating new riders in the next 3, 6, 9 months. And then initiatives like allkidsbike.org, that is to create new riders in 10, 15, 20 years.
Can you walk us through what happens to a person, but for someone who goes to this new rider course and tries it out? I mean, what's the process?
I'm at Discover for the Ride. I'm like, oh my God, my friend told me motorcycles were dangerous, but I want to try anyway because I'm
cooler than my friend. Yeah,
I'm cool.
Cool.
I'm cool. Well, the Discover the Ride, we bring people in. The first thing we do is put them onto Yamaha Power Assist bicycles, both MSF and Total Control, and any the Harley Davidson school. Basically, step number one is you have to know how to ride and balance on a bicycle, which goes back to why Striders and are so important, and bicycles are important. So we put them on a Yamaha Power Assist bicycle, which is a class 1 pedal assist. So you have to move your feet in order for the electric motor to give any assistance, right? There's not a throttle on it. Okay. And so we put them on that. That's really exciting. Yamaha is obviously a brand that carries over into power sports, even though this is a different division of Yamaha. The number of people who've been exposed to power assist bicycles in this country is very low. And all of a sudden they go like, motorcycle guys who just wanted to try an electric motorcycle are like, man, I don't want some of these guys. I don't want to get on a power assist bicycle. I don't care about that. And
of course you don't, fatty. Like, I mean, enjoy, sir. You'll like it.
Yeah, I need one. I'm like, just go do one lap, man. And I never had anybody like come in just doing one lap and come back in. They just did the entire session because it's a lot of fun. So they do that. They basically have proven to us now you can ride and balance. You can follow our instructions. And then we put them in line. We gear them up with cycle gear stuff, helmets, jackets, gloves. And then we put them on the Zero bikes with instruction. There's a preamble. I think I personally probably talked to 5,000 of the 6,000 riders who went out on the course. And we go through, we teach them only what they need to know: how to go, how to slow, and how to turn left. That's it. That's the basics. And then we march them out, and they're on the bikes and on the course. And before they even know it, before they have a chance to think about it too much, they're twisting a throttle and they're riding a bike. And 12 miles an hour doesn't seem that fast, but if you've never been on a motorcycle before and you're riding inside a bunch of water barricades with a throng of people watching from the outside, it can be a pretty intimidating place. But all of a sudden you're controlling the wind in a way that you never have before. And it's a really compelling thing.
What happens if they turn right?
They hit the water barrels. What happens if they turn right?
They hit a water barricade. And that happens. We had people rub up against the wall. Trust me, the Zeros did not go back in the same condition they arrived in, but we racked up a reasonable parts bill. But, gravity's an evil mistress, man. We want to go dance with her all the time. And some people are not made to ride motorcycles, and it's way better to discover that at 12 miles an hour inside a controlled situation with professional instructors in full gear than it is to get on, somebody's, Ninja 300 out in a parking lot and go screaming across the way into the one lamppost in the middle of the parking lot,
So you watch YouTube too, huh? So
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Robert. When you're looking at the success level of this, so far you've talked to us about how many people have done it. Do you yet have any data or planning to get any data, or how the hell are you going to get data on who then goes out and actually, buys a motorcycle, becomes a motorcyclist?
What's the follow through?
Another really smart question. And
what's your conversion rate, said the marketing analyst.
It's good. Of course, there's waivers to fill out, right? So now we've got your email and we've got your address. Next step.
We know where you live.
Creepy at all.
We are watching.
So now there's an opportunity we can connect with prospect riders through an original database that is virtually impossible to get outside of this kind of a process. So all the people who now have that one brain cell that says, now I know I can do this, we now can turn around to them and say, here's a 10% coupon for a total control course in your area. If you sign up with this coupon code, go do that. And so a percentage will go do that. Some will do it within 3 months. Some might take a couple of years, The next step of them actually buying motorcycles, trying to get OEMs to give up, motorcycle lists that's impossible.
Yeah.
They don't want to share that kind of information. But we know who those people are. We know when they come back into the motorcycle show, because many of them do take surveys and that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And we can go back and we can resurvey them. So over the course of time, it's going to be at minimum a year before we start to get any real data on who's signing up for safety courses and stuff. But when we start to get into that data, and over the course of 5 or 10 years of doing this, the database is going to be really compelling, and we will have a really good idea of who's been impacted by this in such a way that it brought them into motorcycling.
So who's funding Discover the Ride? Is that Zero and Cycle Gear and Total Control donating their time and stuff to do that, try to make new customers?
There is a lot of in kind. Zero loaned us the motorcycles. They worked with myself and some of the instructors to really make the throttle program as new rider friendly as possible. They had some money in having, transporting 8 motorcycles between 8 different motorcycle shows is not free. I mean, those semi trucks cost something to go down the road. The water barricades in some of the venues cost $20,000 to rent, just for one weekend show. So when you really think of the additive costs of laying out the carpet, the labor to lay out the carpeted course, to set up the cycle gear display, and blah 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 blah, all the insurance, all that sort of thing, there is a considerable cost. The bulk of that cost was carried by the International Motorcycle Shows Tour. We would love to see brands step up and continue to take part in this, and we did have brands. So, for instance, Yamaha, as an extension to Discover the Ride, had paid for a dyno motorcycle. It was a FZ07 strapped down to kind of a rolling road thing. And so new riders without helmets, without gear, can get on a bike that can't possibly fall over and get the feel for a running engine and letting the clutch out. Harley Davidson had the same program. They called it Kickstart. So those brands step up in their own unique way. The opportunity, however, for a brand, like the next step in motorcycling is obviously rider training, but the step after that is insurance. So the opportunity for an insurance company to step up and be a presenting sponsor for Discover the Ride is really compelling, because guess who wants to sell insurance to new riders?
See what happens when you turn right? You should use insert company here.
Yes, exactly. So
Please.
Yeah, these walls brought to you by Geico. Exactly. So I think that the output of this is literally helmet manufacturers, jacket manufacturers, tire insurance companies, dealerships, clubs, motorcycle clubs. It's just, it's uplifting for the entire industry in a compelling way.
Please, please, please tell me that the carpeted course you guys laid out looked like a cartoon road, like on a kid's play set.
Man, I wish it would have. It was black carpet.
Oh, boring.
Opportunity missed.
Boring. So I will donate.
Trust me, 12-mile-an-hour motorcycles on polished concrete is still frickin' sketch, man. I'm telling you.
I bet.
Oh yeah, but it would look so awesome.
Well, so I've got a daydream that we end up doing the indoor electric flat track championship, concurrent with the Javits show upstairs in the upstairs venue. That would be awesome. So.
Did you get any kind of negative feedback about Discover the Ride?
That's a good question. I mean, we have traditionalists in the industry who don't like change.
Really?
Yes.
Do they ride Harleys?
They ride everything. Trust me. There's
everything Harley.
There's plenty of Triumph guys and BMW guys that can turn coal into diamonds too. So, but there's certainly the four fingers on the brake lever crowd, and then there's the process crowd, and all the gear all the time crowd, and all that kind of stuff. So that's fine, and everyone can have their opinion about that. But in the broad swath of things, if this industry does not fundamentally change the way that we attract new ridership,
invite them
we're going to end up being, it's like owning a horse. Nobody has to have a horse anymore. It's just an option. And motorcycles are like really close to that.
They probably are that in America.
Mine shits less, but
really?
Okay, no, that's not true at all. I retract my previous statement.
I've seen the story.
So programs like Discover the Ride that welcome new riders in. What you mentioned before, there's the kind of this fundamental change that the OEMs are going to need to adopt in order to bring them in. Is it just the programs that invite people in, or are they going to have to fundamentally change like what and how they make it and who they make it for?
Yeah, I think, an OEM's mission is to create a product that people want to buy in relatively short order. That's their job. They sell products, right? And so, one would expect that the major brands are going to get together and try and elevate the sport. And there's a little bit of that done through Motorcycle Industry Council, through MSF initiatives, AMA. But it's, this is me personally speaking. This is not a statement from the IMS at all, but this is just right. So, yeah, I still got to pay for my house, guys. But personally, I feel like that as an industry, we don't have a compelling categorical just do it or got milk. We don't have that. But the basics of riding a bike, whether it's a motorcycle you want to make fun of because it has conchos and chrome on it, or that you want to make fun of because it's only a 250cc bike, or that it leaks oil, or that it's it's not $30,000 or whatever the case. The fundamentals of riding any of those products is basically the same. The top three reasons to ride any brand motorcycle all boil down to the same, control, freedom, and that sort of awesomeness. Yes, that general awesomeness of being on two wheels with something to power it is freaking great. And so as a category, we don't entice people in. I hear the automotive, side of things, whining about, millennials not wanting cars and stuff. Awesome. What's your categorical slow? Why would anybody want a car?
Buy this thing you can't afford.
Yeah. And so it's, we have to do that as an industry in motorcycling is to find that language. The most powerful spokesperson for that industry is the people who are already in it. So Scott Harden's AMA Plus One initiative is very simple. It's just bring a buddy. Just bring a buddy to a motorcycle shop, intervene between the sales guy who wants to make a commission and your buddy who's, is going to get scared of that, and just walk around and look at bikes and sit on stuff. It's just really that simple. And while the industry is finally, going to start to come to that realization in the next few years, there's a bunch of us who are busy putting kids on Strider bikes that, 10, 15 years from now, we're going to build an audience for the motorcycle industry. So, it's really, the challenge to this industry is to kind of quit talking to ourselves, and think bigger, because we all get it, because, we're already doing it. But when you're around somebody who's relatively new to riding and you give them that experience and they have their first 100-mile ride, which seems like climbing a mountain for them, or they do their first overnight trip on a bike, it's unbelievable. Just the energy and the excitement of that. And it's just fun to be around. And it even gets the crustiest old motorcycle instructor, gets them fired up again for why it is we do this.
Can you talk a little bit about the survey you guys are doing with the people who took part?
You're like, who are they? Who are these people?
What were you finding?
Oh yeah, I've got that. If you give me a minute, I can actually find that. I'm sitting here on my computer. I should have it in front of me. Ask me something else really intelligent.
What'd you ride?
I have 12 motorcycles.
Nice.
So,
which one do you ride?
Well, my Zero is actually the one that I don't ride the most miles on, but it's the one I turn on the most. Because it's just so
because it's
easy.
electric.
It's so
woogie,
easy.
Woogie, woogie.
Yeah, I mean, I live in Texas normally, and there's no heat. It's just really, really a great a tool for that, And I just bought my first Harley, so feel free to mock me for that. But I'm going to turn it in. I bought a 2009 883 Sportster that had 650 miles on it.
What?
From a lady who hurt her back soon after buying, not riding, but in another way. And the bike just kind of sat there, and I bought it, and I'm going to turn it into a Hugo Moto adventure bike. So.
Now, it may interest you to know that the 883 with the 1200 engine upgrade is one of the more sought after Sportsters, because you get the low gearing from the 883 and the 1200 motor, and it just fucking screams.
Which is why I bought an 883, and it's going to have a full Sportster or SNS hooligan kit in it.
Well then.
So, yeah.
Todd approves.
Suck on that for a while.
Did you guys just wave your dicks at each other? Is that what just happened?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hi!
Beauty of podcasts. I'm apologizing because I'm having to dig into old files to find this stuff. I want to get some real numbers for you here. So,
what do you think the industry's doing wrong as far as marketing in general?
I think we talk to ourselves too much. I really wish that we did a more compelling job of bringing new riders in, and there will be people who say that, hey, look at this initiative or look at this thing that we're doing, or we did these rides in monster truck races or whatever, and that's great. There's great little staccato, singular sorts of things, but the truth is that again, is we have to quit talking to ourselves. We have to get into a display at the Mall of America. Why isn't motorcycling more representative at SEMA or at what's the big electronic show out in Vegas? CES, yeah. I mean,
why aren't we advertising with like esports? Because speaking as a person who was a nerd who liked video games, the next logical step was buying a motorcycle for me. I'm not even joking about that. Like,
yeah, I mean,
everyone I know who's a nerd loves those things.
Yeah. Why aren't we rebooting Street
demo
Hawk?
rides at? Say that again.
Why aren't we rebooting Street Hawk? Wasn't that the show from the 80s with the motorcycle?
Mm.
I think
It was like the motorcycle version of Knight Rider.
I think in the 80s I was busy graduating college.
I was in high school, so screw you.
I just discovered Nintendo and
Call me
girls.
old, if you will. So here's some of the quick data on the tour here. So 47% of the Discover the Ride new rider course participants, 47% after this was a survey after 6,800 participants, right, were female.
That would be nearly representative.
Right.
That's cool.
That's cool.
But you walk into a motorcycle show.
Oh, yeah.
What does that show look like?
No.
Exactly.
Mm.
So within a motorcycle show full of dudes, right? 47% of the new riders coming through that program were female. And I've heard the industry go over and over and over again, we need to get more women riding, which I believe, I did this Give a Shift, Moto Give a Shift report, about a year and a half ago. And one of the top conclusions was if mom rides, the kids will ride. And that extrapolated into more women riding equals more people riding, not just those women, but they have a huge positive effect.
It worked for Missy.
Especially
overall,
if they give birth while riding.
What?
What?
With sidecar support. So, I mean, it's that's a compelling thing. So we had 2,300 kids who rode the Stacyc bikes in the Kid Zone for the first time. And if your listeners are not familiar with those, those are basically bicycles wed with little electric motors that are speed limited, and mom can kind of dial that up and down as the kid has ability. And it's just a little electric mini bike that they can go cruising around in the backyard, not make noise, not make emissions, not make heat, and go cruise around out there. So, it's like little data like that just speaks to the success of the program. Mm-hmm. And I could just tell you, of the non-licensed riders who participated, we did have licensed riders who wanted to try an electric bike, for instance, just scratch that itch. Mm-hmm. Of the non-licensed riders, 64% were under the age of 35. So this BS that millennials aren't interested in motorcycling is just proved to be that.
I can guarantee you that's complete BS. My class was one guy over the age of 40 and like millennials, as far as the eye could see this weekend.
Right, exactly. So, in this industry, and again, this is just a broad brush statement here, but we reward people by displacement, and we've all heard the story about the sales guy who's like, oh, you're going to outgrow that 600. You might as well get the 750 now. You might as well get the 1,000cc bike now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Right.
And now you can't afford it. And now,
Right. Yeah. And you realize how much the insurance is. And then the first time you drop the clutch on the thing, it's just like, holy shit. And, my first bike, back in the day was a Suzuki GN 250, a single cylinder, dual valve, 5-speed air cooled, drum brakes on both ends. I joke that it had, anti-lock brakes, because no matter how hard you pull the lever, they wouldn't. And so
the original anti-lock,
right? Yeah, just ineffective brakes. It's not as good a marketing tactic.
Suggestive brakes.
Anyway, but that 250, which could barely muster 60 miles an hour, was a fantastic first motorcycle for me. My next bike was a Yamaha Radian 600, which was a great bike, and then just I got to move up through that ladder. If, as an industry, we don't start celebrating smaller bikes, which I am seeing through the custom culture. You look at some of the custom bikes that are at the One Show or at Hand Built or coming out on Bike Exif, and like these cool little surf bikes and stuff like that. That stuff's coming around. But as a broader industry, we have to be as enthusiastic about small bikes. If I'm riding a Royal Enfield 400 over the Himalayan mountains in India, that's pretty freaking epic. Having a big BMW GS is like, whatever. But, doing it on a small bike there's a sense of accomplishment and approachability to that. That's just fantastic. So.
Well, yeah, because, the bike only goes so fast that people can just keep up with you by walking, and you can talk to them.
You could be an ambassador.
Right. It's exactly that.
Awesome.
I'd go for a ride with you guys on underpowered bikes in Moab.
Yep.
But it's
I'd be all over that.
Yeah, why not? That sounds like fun.
It's truly, you know, what it does is it starts to take away all the this performance thing where you're going to wheelie over stuff and you're going to fly through, and your vision, instead of being narrow to the trail because you don't want to fall off that cliff over there, actually widens up, and you actually start to turn your head more, and you start to see this environment that you get to ride through, and you're controlling it through a throttle and everything. Riding small bikes through an interesting environment is one of the most compelling things we can do in our lives.
Cool.
Last time we went through Moab with Todd on an underpowered bike, he cried.
Was everyone else on an overpowered bike?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, if Chuck had been on a slow bike, we would have just been like, we're the slow kids.
Yeah, and now it's fun.
As I'm thinking about it, actually, there was a lot of my stress coming from like, God, I'm going so slow. Whereas if we'd both been on slow bikes, I'd have been like, fuck it, we're slow.
But I kept telling you, don't worry about it.
I know, but that doesn't.
I'm slow no matter what bike I'm on.
You know, that phenomenon exists right now in the modern. You look at the Grom packs out there.
Yeah, one of them came and wheelied the entire way around at AIM.
Oh yeah, I remember those dudes.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah. That's just fun, man. I had a Grom for all of 99 miles, but I had one, and it was just a riot. You know, I used to race YSR 50s. That was my first race bike. Back in the early 80s, it was a YSR 50.
What happened?
Or mid 80s, I guess.
What happened at mile 99?
I traded it in on a Yamaha FZ09.
Oh, boring.
Yeah,
I was hoping for an epic fireball.
Yeah, right. Hit 100. Yeah. Depreciated. No, I managed to sell it for what I bought it for in the height of the Grom thing. Because here's the deal. It's like, because of my YSR 50 racing experience, and I live in a small town in Texas, one guy on a Grom riding through traffic is an asshole, right? And because you don't, But if you got two, now it's a race. Now it's fun. You know.
Don't race on city streets, kid.
Yeah, hey kids, take care. But anyway, that phenomenon is out there. There's again, small, approachable, fun motorcycling is out there. I think the hero, for instance, in Suzuki's lineup, everyone thinks Suzuki is GSXR and RMZs, and that kind of thing. The hero in the lineup, to me, is the Van 200.
That thing is awesome.
Exactly, and it's just fun. It's cool to look at. It's
and
easy.
You can put
to
a sheep on the back.
It's frumpy. It's like there's an approachability to it. So instead of like GSXR, you're going to do a track day. What do you do with a Van 200? Man, I throw a beach race out on Pismo Beach, and have a big old bonfire and have a nighttime beach race with like mini bonfire corner markers. And that would be just a riot. That would be so fun. And that's the sort of thing that makes motorcycling approachable, is you don't have to drop 10 grand on something to get into it. You can buy I bought a used TW200 to just make like a little Japanese brat style run around town sort of scrambler that I can loan to a new rider to say, hey, let's go, let's head over to the cafe, grab some coffee. So
this is making me want a TU250 with a milk crate. I'm not going to lie.
I kind of want a Grom.
I'm telling you, man, this is, that's the thing. It's like when you realize that motorcycling is additive, right? Like I compare motorcycles to shoes all the time. I tell people I have 11, 12 motorcycles. Motorcycles are like, oh, that's cool. Non-motorcycles like, God, why do you need so many of those? I'm like,
fuck, I know all those.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, I got hiking boots, I got dress shoes, I got some, kicks, or I got sneakers for this, I got, other shoes, I got boots for that. So
really smelly pair with a hole in them.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I make the same analogy too, but I usually compare them to girls.
Wow, aren't you a player?
I don't think he bought your shit, Jeff.
He said sarcastically.
Oh, that came through. So
even with the video off, asshole.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Chuck, you better get that fire out before it gets worse.
You know what? You both could just.
That's the thing that we can all do as motorcycles is just make it fun. And so, just going back to IMS and Discover the Ride, to invite a non-rider to a motorcycle show and not just go drag them to go look at the S1000 RR 190 horsepower superbike thing. but to show them the fun, approachable stuff out there, and then to just get on, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever, and find like a cheap runabout, like Bic lighter of a single cylinder motorcycle. I built one of those Rika Suzuki Savage cafe bike kits, and wrote a story for a magazine and stuff. And, that ended up being my little turd run around town bike. And it was it was so much fun at just that, right? It was to try and run, like I could ride that bike to 100% because 100% of that bike was significantly lower than 100% of an FZ09. 100% of an FZ09 on the street is going straight to jail, but on a Suzuki Savage cafe bike is thrilling without, having red and blue lights behind you. And so it's just, little bikes are a lot of fun, and it's such a compelling way to bring new people in. If 33% of existing riders had like a little, TW200 used bike sitting in their collection, they'd end up using it on camping trips and stuff themselves, but they would end up being able to loan it out to somebody to learn how to ride, or to invite them to come along and go to the beach and go race around a bonfire.
All right. Well, there you have it, listeners. This is the official call out. Go out and buy a small, cheap bike and have some fun with it. Tell them we sent you. Robert, thanks so much for being on with us tonight. This was really cool.
You guys going to be at the upcoming season for IMS?
Yeah, absolutely. Discover the Ride will be there. If your listeners are not familiar with the IMS tour, it's at motorcycleshows.com. And, there's coupons and stuff like that we throw out there all the time. So keep an eye out for that stuff. And again, I appreciate the energy it takes for you guys to, wake up in the morning, but even beyond that, to work on the podcast and to do all that sort of stuff and to make fun of other riders and to speak, to talk the talk and what it takes to be an enthusiast now is to put in that extra work, and you guys are clearly doing it through this. So thanks for your time.
Who's he talking about?
Yeah, you guys, you should.
Serious podcast.
So it's it's easy to sit back and postulate, but it's hard to actually do something about it. So if you're taking that time to edit one of these things and put it together and tell all 12 of your listeners that that you're going to do this, then that's worth it to me. So thank you.
Thanks, man. We'll catch you later.
Hey, take care, guys. See you out on the road.
So I got to be honest. I went into that interview expecting to kind of like tear into him a little.
Really? About what?
Well, the whole Discover the Ride thing, I was just like, honestly, you can hear it right from the beginning where I'm like, honestly, I think this is dumb. I'm going to go convince people at a motorcycle show to ride motorcycles.
That was my thing, is like, they're doing it at a motorcycle show. If you're a non-rider there, you're probably there because you're a hostage.
Right. You're either a hostage or you're like going to be a rider soon. Like that's kind of it, right?
Yeah. Because my whole, I got into motorcycles late in life, mid 30s. And not once ahead of that was I ever like, hey, I should go to a motorcycle show.
Boy, I should go to Chuck, I was thinking that, what we should do next week is we should go to a boat show where motorboats are.
Motorboats?
Yes.
So that you can harangue them?
Yes. Wait, no.
So you can disparage and glare and judge.
Just so I can feel vaguely superior to them. But yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I'm not like, oh boy, let's go to a motorboat show. Yippee.
I want to go to a proctologist show. That sounds fun.
You know what we should do, Chuck? Is we should go to a really jacked up pickup show so we can see the most jacked up pickups.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the tires. Do you like jacked up pickups?
No.
Me neither.
But let's go.
Let's go to a show.
Maybe they'll have an experience. We can.
Ooh. Right. We can drive around in a jacked up pickup, and after we gel our hair.
Your hair kind of is sticking straight
My
up.
hair sticks straight up with no encouragement whatsoever.
It's just doing it.
I literally have to use gel to keep it down.
You are just fitting it then. You are their people.
Yes. It's all true. I guess it's truck clock for me.
I mean, literally, you're wearing
That's true. I am wearing a mossy oak sweatshirt
Yeah.
right now and have hair that sticks up straight off the front of my head. Which
You would blend.
I'd be like, bruh, I like those big swamper tires because I feel cool with them.
Okay.
And the shocks that are longer than normal.
The shock. How much longer?
I spent $100 at JC Whitney.
And about Cabela's? You love?
They're great.
Yes. Good.
I heart Cabela's.
You're ready to go.
Mm.
You're ready to go undercover.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was. I mean, it was. I liked better that they at least went to a auto show to do this.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they expand that more.
Well, and as you get past the silliness of the I'm going to a motorcycle show to get people to ride motorcycles and start to understand a little more of what he has in mind, he's not wrong.
No,
you know, like that's the really
good
thing I kept coming to. I'm like, boy, he's got a good point, actually. Yeah. It's the, and I was fully expecting to be the industry thing about the industry is suffering. The industry's fucking suffering because their bikes are too fucking expensive.
Right.
Bottom line.
It doesn't seem like that's
an entry level bike is $5,000 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Or you can go buy something used for less.
Yeah, he just wants people riding.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. That's cool. I think he's onto something. I'll be interested to see what the actual turnaround on it is. Mm-hmm. That's
maybe a few years of data, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean it can't hurt, and if they're willing to set forth the effort, then what the hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, good luck to you, Robert. We wish you the best.
That was pretty cool.
Mm. What have you learned tonight, Chuck?
Bye.
Okay, well, same to you then. Jeez, I've learned that it's very difficult to listen to people talk about how great electric motorcycles are when I don't get mine until next year. that just made me cringe. I was like, I want
to know. We got a zero dealer.
I know.
We could probably. Yeah. You know what we need to do?
Mm-hmm.
We just go to an IMS show and ride their zeros in the 12 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And just keep trying to turn right.
Do these things have horns that play music? Why? You'll see.
Yeah, when he was just like, you just need to learn left turns. It's like, oh, so we're breaking people into NASCAR. They should take this to NASCAR.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, you only need to turn left. And everybody's like, oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, I've had an attack of the Vipers.
Yeah, NASCAR is perfect for this.
That's all we got time for this week. Until next time, I'm Todd.
Bye.
Ride safe, everyone.
You can contact us at wheelnerds@gmail.com or leave us a message at area code
80130546777. Record an intro for our show of you and your bike, and maybe it'll be on a future show.
Stickers and other merchandise is available at our website, www.wheelnerds.com.
If you use iTunes or Stitcher, please leave a review for us. Hell, write our URL on bathroom walls if it helps.
If you like this podcast, you can find more like it at wheelnerds.com. This has been a Wheel Nerds production, all rights reserved. Readings from other sources are the property of their respective owners and are used with satirical intent.
All right, we're on with Rab. Jinxed myself.
Well, I know what our cold opener is.
Oh, fuck you.
Hi, and welcome to Wheel Nerds. This is episode...
Nope.
One more time. You fucked up Robert, okay?
At least I was in the ballpark. I didn't call him like, hey, Steve. Bye.
I'm not Steve. Bye then.
Bye. Oh.
We are the woo. Hi, and welcome to Wheel Nerds. This is episode 1. God damn it.
Tell me you did that on purpose.
No. Apparently we need to stop. Show's over. Thanks, folks.
Do you want to just call it one something? No one will know. No one will care. We're going to call this episode 1.
1, the revenge. Okay. One last try at this. Hi, and welcome.
What's wrong, Todd?
Hi, and welcome to. Stop making noise.
Getting away from my mic here, so I'm not.